Okay. Hi, Noor, Melissa, and Omar, and whoever else gets this video. For now, because you had asked me about the difference between, let me bring this a little closer, between the words migration, migrant, and migrates, and also immigration, immigrant, and immigrates, immigration, emigrant, and emigrates, I wanted to make you a video because it's a little bit hard to explain over email. Okay, so essentially these words have to do with the same thing, which is moving from one place to another. But I'm going to explain just the small differences that make the words into different words. Okay, so let's first start with the first three set of words, which is migration, migrant, and migrates. Okay, so we're going to use two characters, and Nora, I apologize. I didn't think I was going to make this video for you as well because you just emailed me. But I have two characters in this. I have Melissa, and I have Omar. Okay? So let's say Omar lives in Palestine, and Melissa, you're going to live in the US for now. Okay? So we're first going to start with the word migration. We know that migration with an ION at the end means that it's a noun. Okay? So migration in general means just the movement or the moving from one place to another. Okay? So let's say Melissa and Omar and all these different people are moving around from one place to another. We can say that there is migration between Palestine, okay, and the USA. There is also migration between the USA and Palestine. Okay? Notice how I'm not saying he migration or he is migration. No. I'm saying instead that there is migration. Okay? Migration is a noun. All right. The next word we're going to talk about is migrant. Okay? Migrant means someone who migrates. Okay? So let's say that Omar, we'll put him back in Palestine. We'll say Melissa's here. Okay? Let's say that Omar wants to migrate to the USA. Okay? So here's our sentence. Omar migrates to, okay, the USA. Omar migrates to the USA. Okay? So this makes Omar a migrant. Omar migrates, so he's a migrant. Omar migrates because he's a migrant. Okay? So we're going to move these back. That pretty much explains migrates too. Migrates is just the verb of migration and migrant. Omar migrates from one place to another. Omar migrates from Palestine to the USA. Okay? Omar migrates from Palestine to the USA. Okay? So, migration, migrant, and migrates is just in general. You can use it whenever you want. Okay? I migrate. Whenever you're talking about people moving everything they own from one place to another, it's just in general. You can say he migrates from Palestine to the USA. He migrates to the USA from Palestine. He migrates to the Palestine from the USA. Everything works with migrate. Okay? But once you start to talk about the other words, so let me set this up just again. Oh, whoops, I set it up wrong. Okay? So, Palestine's over here. US is here. Melissa's here. Omar's here. And we're going to get rid of our migration words and just put them up here. And I'm going to bring in the word immigrate. So we have immigration, immigrant, and immigrate. Okay? So the word immigration means to go to a place. Okay? So if Melissa's here and Omar's here, if Omar comes from Palestine to the USA, he immigrates to the USA. Okay? So to is the really important word here. Im actually means to. So if you get rid of the immigrates with this part or the migration part, and you just think about it means two. Okay? So if Omar, he doesn't really like his life in Palestine, if he wants to move to the US, okay, he is going to immigrate to, so Omar immigrates to the USA. Okay? This, just like migration, makes Omar an immigrant. Okay? Omar immigrates, so he's an immigrant. Okay? Let's say now that Melissa doesn't like her life very much, so Omar's now in the USA because he immigrated to the USA. Okay? But let's say Melissa doesn't really like her life in the USA. Okay? So she goes to Palestine. All right? So Melissa then would immigrate to Palestine. Okay? Melissa immigrates to Palestine. She is an immigrant to Palestine. Okay? So now, as we see, there is immigration to Palestine. Okay? There is immigration to Palestine. Melissa is an immigrant because she immigrates. There is immigration to Palestine. There's also immigration to the U.S. because, as we know, Omar has also immigrated to the USA. Okay? So there's also immigration to the USA, meaning people are immigrating to the USA. There are immigrants to the USA. There is immigration to the USA. Okay, so let's go to the last word. Let me set it up again. Omar, I'm going to put you back in Palestine. Melissa, I'm going to put you over here. Nor, you can imagine yourself here somewhere. So I'm going to put, now that we've learned about immigration, immigrates, etc., we're going to put that up here. I'm going to put the word to up there too, because to is the key word, remember, in the word immigration, or immigrates, or immigrant. Okay? Then the last thing here is emigration. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Let's say that Melissa, like we just talked about, doesn't really like her life in the U.S. Okay? So Melissa decides to move back to Palestine. Okay? So Melissa is going to leave the U.S. Melissa will leave the U.S. Okay? So she's coming from the USA. M here in emigration, or E actually, means to go from someplace. Okay? So when you say Melissa leaves the USA, it means that she's emigrating from, Melissa emigrates from the USA. Okay? So she's going to Palestine, so she's immigrating to Palestine, but she's emigrating from the USA. She's coming from the USA. Okay? So if you think about it, her destination is the place she's immigrating to, and what she's leaving behind is what she's emigrating from. She's leaving the USA. Okay? So our sentence there again is Melissa emigrates from the USA. You know what this makes Melissa? Once again, this makes Melissa an emigrant. She is emigrating from the USA. Okay? Now, to explain this last word, just to make it super easy, Omar, I'm actually going to say that, because we already know that you immigrated to the USA at one point, right? So we know that both of you, Omar and Melissa, we know that Melissa has emigrated from the USA. So she emigrates from the USA. Okay, and we'll put that there in a second. But now Omar also wants to go back to Palestine because he doesn't like his life so much in the USA. Okay, so Omar, too, is going to emigrate from the USA. Okay, so Omar and Melissa, to make this right, I need to get this. Okay, Omar and Melissa emigrate from the USA. So that means there is emigration from the USA, and I haven't used this arrow yet, so I'm going to use it now. Okay? They're emigrating from the USA. Okay? And they're going to Palestine. So if you're thinking about it in terms of arrows, okay, emigration is an arrow going this way, whereas immigration is an arrow going this way. Okay? Maybe that makes more sense to you. So essentially what we've learned here is that migration, okay, migrant and migrates, talks about just generally movement from one place to another. Okay? Immigration is when you move to a place. Okay? It's the movement to a place. Okay? You immigrate to Palestine. You immigrate to the USA. Emigration is when you leave a place. Emigration from somewhere. I emigrate, let me correct myself there. I emigrate from the USA. I emigrate from Palestine. There is emigration from the USA to Palestine. There is emigration from Palestine. I am an emigrant if I emigrate. I am an immigrant if I immigrate. And I am a migrant if I migrate. Okay. I hope that helps you guys. If you're still confused, please send me an email. And if you want, you can send me example sentences and I'll give you some feedback and corrections on those. All right, well, good luck with studying. Bye-bye.